Keep at it. Nothing between you and your foes in the mountains. You've been waiting a long time for this, and now it's finally here. Time to get going to Looper Lupin's camp. He's happy to help. Better to be on top of a mount than standing behind it. Ah, see that e-waste? Always handy. This one is Bang Shelter 8F. Wonder how long they held out here. It's a cold zone. Even a thick coat of fur is enough to keep you warm here. Tapped hard. Scorchy George. The story will go on as long as there is someone there to listen. put that to good use. Untended. Ride like the wind. Always good to have some wood scrap like that on hand. Sizzler! That was the second Aurora totem. 2 more, and you'll find out if the legend is true. The tribes need someone to unite them. Lupin's camp has always been there, hidden deep inside the mountains. Tread carefully here. This is Lupin's camp. Lupin says he's been looking forward to this moment. He wanted you to come here and see for yourself where it all started. He was so little when your mother and kin came here to put an end to his mother just because she was different, a hunter. That night, the hunter became the hunted, trapped with nowhere to run. He says your mother showed no mercy. Only vengeance. He can see that you're not like your mother. There's something different about you. Maybe you would have made a better decision than she did, and let them be. They orphaned him, left him alone, an outcast and a freak. Lupin says he's been reliving the moment every night since then. He says your mother and her disciples started something that couldn't be undone. They created the monster he would become. He knew his time would come, and he was patient. So, when he got news about your birth, he knew how to get revenge that would last. That's why he spared you that night he raised the village when you were a child. He wanted you to suffer for life, like he had. He marked you for life, so he'd recognize you when you met again, and you'd eventually remember where you came from. His hunger grew insatiable over the years to come. He tried, but being vegetarian wasn't in his nature, and he couldn't go hungry. But he's never taken a life for the sake of appetite. It's always been about survival, and that our true self is being who we are. A deep look into nature will make you understand everything better, and that natural selection eliminates, and the strongest survive. Fate is for those too weak to determine their own destiny, and now the time has come for you to accept yours. could be danger around any corner down here. He says you really need to go see Noko as soon as possible. He's happy to help. Mentions a place not far from here they call the Dead Zone. Wish he guesses you're back. You need to show your mount who's boss. This is Gurf's turf, and they don't like visitors. Take this seriously, or it'll take you down.
und Lumpfa Witze Njawav.
asks you.
Jacques in Danka Gudu.
Wonder what you might find. Watch your balance. That's a putty-upper plaza. Some were actually trying to build something before it all started to end. Wow, that's a solar mirror. Now you just need to get the solar mirror turned on. Just push that button and get it all shined up. Turn it around so the shiny part's pointed at the shiny sky ball. You've got all the shinies lined up. Can't suck in enough wind. Breathe. Keep breathing. Feel that? It's a lack of air. Did you sell your life? Your ears just pooped. Your chest is squeezing. Birds can't breathe to sing. An old munch house. Imagine having hot food brought to you. Right in the face. Crit. Flash the slash. Your destiny, you need to align the knobs so that they match. Flex up. Vump is the place to be, obviously. A crossway. This means you have a choice to make. Which way? Wheel the control box handles to buzz the wires. Wired up and ready to go. This story is about a hero. Biohazard makes your skin crawl. Get the rhythm going well. One arm, then the other. Pumping good. Looking better. Have you been up all night? That old home might not be stripped clean yet. You need to turn the pegs in sync. You really put a spin on it. Heroes inspire in a way nothing else can. Go get on it and run fast as you can. You run like the wind. Effective. Hey, there's some rubber scrap over there, just right for the taking. That's interesting. An old home that's still standing. 1.21 gigawatts. That'll teach you. Control your destiny, or someone else will. The cranks need to be unturned in the right order. Look at those notices on the board. Too bad the Gnotes couldn't read them. If you wander around here, you might find Noko. She just loves those Gnotes. Once the power ran out, it made sense to ride Gnotes. And that powered types of transportation polluted the world, but didn't poop in the street. Obviously, they didn't have their priorities right in those days. Watch your step here, and you might find tracks of another traveler. Nooks isn't an easy language, but at least it's manageable. She says she is so happy to see you again. She wonders if you remember her. She's Noko. She let you ride her Majut when you were a kid. Noko remembers you used to chase around with so much energy and is glad to see you haven't lost any of that spark. But that's all long gone now, though. Memories show us where we've been, not where we're going. Seems reluctant to even say its name. It's become personal to her too, since it's taken so many of her innocent Gnotes as prey. Noko remembers those days too, but she never lets herself wallow in them, no matter how tempting that can be. She sees you're back to buck with Lupa Lupin. Can't see how there's any way to avoid that now. Not for long, at least. She says the horrors of your younger days were enough to ruin anyone, but not you. You've got all that cheer about you still. Noko says history is like the trail you've been on. You can walk back down it any time you like, until it's worn smooth. But you get to blaze your own trail from here. Then you are stronger than her. She can't help wanting Lupa Lupin to pay for what he did to her Gnotes, despite the fact it's against her nature. Asks how many paths you've wandered in the world, and if you ever wonder about what might have changed if you'd taken different ones. The choices can be overwhelming, but you have to choose, or you just stay where you are. And what kind of choice is that? So happy the world is going to live, would have been crushed to see all the Gnotes die with it. Likes that you stood up for the world and spurred your way toward helping it out. Glad you saw the light with the myriad. They always bring a sparkliness to any day, and sometimes the nights too. Says that's only for a little while, and when your eyes clear, you see everything even better than before. But let's not speak of that now. She has an idea where the Majut might have gone, as there's no other place it likes as much as its own corner of the open wild. She's even named it the Majut Meadow. The Majut will recognize the scent you've attracted while being here, so it'll probably trust you enough to follow you. You should lead the Majut back here when you find it. It's going to take time to get it calm enough to be able to ride out to the World Eater. It's the most magnificent creature she's ever encountered, a creature straight out of a dream or story. Pick up the pace race. You found the Majut Meadow. Watch out for the Majut. Getting there. Now that the Majut is back in the pen, it seems calm, but Noko is still concerned. She says the Majut is still anxious, but fortunately she knows just the thing it needs to calm down. The Majut once found and ate a bonbon gummy by mistake, and that the chewing really calmed it down. She says that you should find some bonbon gummies for the Majut by the crossway. At least, that's where... It's easy to describe. A crossway is where roads meet in a knot and merge. This one is in Sector 7J, if you're familiar with Out-of-Date's map. As long as karma exists, the world changes and we change with it. You flick the switches in order to greenlight the current and activate the electrons in the panel. That clicked. You need to switch up the flick pattern. You need to flick the switches in order to process power through the panel. Good. The loop is electrified enough to spark. Cranks like these usually need to be wound to operate the dispenser. What you see is what you get, once it's out of the blind box, that is. With its attention diverted to the chewy bonbon gummy, the Majut calms down. But Noko is still concerned. She's relieved the Majut has calmed down, but you'll need a heavier sit-tight to ride it than the one she's got. The only sit-tight she can think of that would be heavy enough is one she's spotted mounted on an old-world mecha-Majut. If she remembers correctly, she spotted it at the Smilo Shopperia while scavenging for treats for the Gnotes. That's not so far away. Seems to her they preferred the Mechamajuts over the living counterparts in the old world. Maybe the Gnotes were near extinct. Nighttime is ending. You need to loosen the bolts without rattling the Mechamajup. That's too much distress. That's it. The sit-tight is loose. Time to stop horsing around and get the sit-tight back to Noko.
Andro?
Now that the Majut's got a mouthful of bonbon gummy and the brand new sit-tight is in place, the Majut is ready to ride. Nokko's been training another fantabulous little critter that'll hopefully become a distraction for the hoof puff when you confront it. She's called them glitter moths, and the best way to find them is to go talk to Mito. She's asked him to keep them somewhere safe. You'll find Mito at Brightlight. He's a light-headed fellow, but hopefully he'll remember where he stored the moths. He's been able to literally shed some light in the darkness for her over the years, but also because of his cheerful manner. Just be glad that beastie let you on. This place is called Brightlight. Mito lives close by. With the world getting darker by the day, there's not much time left to save it, and even though you've just met, he feels you're bound to play a huge part in that. Figures that doesn't make it any less worth fighting. You found your way through the darkness. You shine like the sun in the sky, but will you use that power to warm the world or burn it? Hopes you see how much good you can do with power like that, and how easy it is to let it drive you mad. No matter where your path takes you, though, it's important to remember where you came from. The past brightlights the present. Wonders if you know how much of an effect you've had upon the world. Your presence changes things like light changes darkness. Did you realize that when choosing where to shine? Says he can see that in the way you brighten everything up. So happy you know you're helping brighten the world. There's plenty of it that's still worth saving. Whatever happens to the world, you shone as bright as you could. That matters more than you know. Says you did the right thing in taking up with the Myriad. They buy lots of his lamps. That's a tribe that believes in the bright things in the world. It's clear you do. Nothing shines as bright as being right. Says he can see by the twinkle in your eyes that you're not here to talk about your allies. He assumes you are here to be enlightened. He can't blame you, as everything just feels dark and hopeless these days. There's something about you, like you're knit together. Your fate's connected. What you've said, he feels too. So why not call him Me Too? He senses you're like the dayfly, living every day like it's your last, afraid that when night comes, it might be proved right. Believes no one is entirely dark. Even the worst have a spark of good in them.
Donker Bolken.
Mito says he's not only into those who shine bright, he likes things that glitter too.
Munkin.
He reckons you haven't seen a glitter moth and says it's about time you did. Even though they're nesting near gone grass, they never run out of glow.
Kamui.
Finding yourself a glitter moth would give you that glimmer of hope you need to continue all the way to the end.
Kabasa Kompo.
You really do need them alive. Dead glitter moths fade. You're here for a reason. It's up to you to figure out what that is.